Hello, Grandpa's going to be changing the brakes on my old car here. And I've got some brake shoes here, some brand new ones, because the other ones are wore out. And I've got some various tools here that are going to help me do the job. And so I thought I would film it and let Drew and Ricky and James see how Grandpa changes the brakes on a car. Now let's take a look at some of the tools I'm going to be using. And here are some of the tools that we'll be using. We need a couple of socket sets to take the brakes apart. Then there's a jack that will jack the car up high enough so we can get the tire off. And then there's a jack stand. Once we jack the car up, we set it on that so we can be very safe. And then there's a seat that I can sit on to be comfortable. And then there are the brakes that I'm going to be replacing and putting on the tire. Okay, now it's time to jack up the car. That's the first thing that we do. That requires a tool like this called a jack. And we put the handle in the jack, and we put it under the car, and when we pump it up, see this thing goes up? And that way, with a jack like this, you can raise a big, heavy car just by just pumping up and down. I bet Ricky or James or Drew could do that. Okay. Okay. Put it under the car. And here's what it looks like as I'm jacking it up. That pushes up against the car, and there's the handle. So what I have to do is raise the handle up and down, like this. Every time I pump it down, the car goes up just a little bit more. Now that we've got the car jacked up a little bit, the next thing we need is this lug nut wrench, and that's called a lug nut, and this is a lug nut wrench. We have to loosen them up so we can take off the tire. This is hard work. I need somebody really strong like James or Ricky or Drew to help me with this. Here we go. There we go. Got one. Got two. 3, 4. And Ricky, what's the next number? 7? No. The next number is 5. Okay, we got all 5 lug nuts loose. Now we can get them all the way off. Once they're loose, we can just kind of twirl them like this. Now, the tire just comes right off. And there it is. Okay, now it's time to take the brake off, which is this thing right here. We need a wrench like this, and we're going to loosen the bolts that hold it in place. So I reach back here and fit it into place. Now I just start cranking. Uh-oh. Now. There's 2 that hold it in place, so I'll loosen the top one. See if I can do it by my hand now. Yeah. And that's what was holding it in place right there. That's a very strong bolt. And I'll put it over here in the box where I won't lose it. Okay. Now we got the brake off. Okay. Now what we're going to do is set it up right there. We'll set it right there, and now let's take out the old ones. here's an old one. It still has a little bit of life in it, but since I already got new ones, I'm going to go ahead and replace them. See how thick the brake is right there? Here's the new one. Look how much thicker it is. So it's time to replace the brakes. Okay. Okay, now here's the new one, all ready to go, and I'll have to slide it back into place. I'll have to wiggle this sometimes to get it to fit like it needs to fit. Okay, I think we got it in there. Now let's put it back on the whatever this thing is.
Wheel?
The rotor. It's called the rotor. Okay, let's see here. Now, we take our bolts here and put them right back in where they were. All right. And we put the other one on. It goes down here. Okay, this one, bottom one's tight. The top one is now tight. I believe we're ready to put the tire back on. Yay! Let's get the tire in place. The tires are heavy. Put the lug nuts back on too. And when you're done, do them all one more time. Get them very tight. Okay. Okay. And that's how you change the brakes on Grandpa's car. The next time I have to do it, I sure wish that Ricky and James and Drew could help me do it. So you could help me work with all of these tools and things, because sometimes I get all mixed up and I don't know how to do them. Goodbye.